What happens after you realize that you don't want to keep doing this the same way? Maybe you've been listening, maybe something's been stirring in you, but now you're sitting in that space of, okay, what do I actually do with this? In this episode, I want to walk you through what that next step can look like. Mama, are you tired of meltdowns stealing the peace in your home? Welcome to Parenting Beyond Meltdowns. I'm Amanda, a Christian life coach and a mom of a strong-willed neurospicy teen. If you've tried everything from consequences, parenting books, crying out to the Father, and still feel like you're failing, you're not alone. Inside this podcast, we'll explore how faith, emotional regulation, and connection work together so that you can parent from a place of peace, even in the hardest moments. You don't have to hold it all together here. This is a safe space to lay it all down. Welcome. If you didn't get a chance to join us for the Rebuild Connection with Your Strong-Willed or Neurodivergent Child workshop last night, or you want to go back and watch it again, the replay is still available through Sunday. Now through Sunday, you can book your Anchored Mama coaching session for $67 and receive the Grounded in Grace devotional as a bonus. If you're feeling that nudge, you can grab your replay or book your session by going to amandacalfee.com/replay-registration or head over to the show notes. There was a point in my journey where I knew something had to change, but I didn't know what to do next. I had awareness. I could see the patterns. I could see how I was reacting. I could see how it was impacting my relationship, but in the moment, nothing actually felt different yet. And that's a really frustrating place to be, because it's not that you don't care, and it's not that you're not trying. It's that you don't know how to bridge the gap between what you understand and how you actually show up when things get hard. Our first teaching point today is awareness is not the same as transformation. This is something that I wish more mamas understood. Awareness is powerful, but awareness alone doesn't change your reactions. You can know all the right things about emotional regulation and still feel dysregulated during your child's meltdowns. Not because you're failing, but because these moments require more than just knowing. They require space, support, and walking it out in real time. Point number 2, what actually helps you move forward? What creates change isn't more pressure. It's not trying harder. It's having space where you can slow things down. Look at what's happening underneath the moment and begin to respond from a more grounded place. And that's where things start to shift. Not overnight, but in a way that actually lasts. Point number 3, what it looks like to work with me. When you come into a session with me, you don't need a plan. You don't need to have all the right words. You don't need to know what to say. You come with a moment, something that happened, something that keeps happening, or just something that feels heavy. And together we slow it down. We look at what's happening inside of you and what your body's doing or what you and your child might have needed in that moment. And then how to move through it differently next time. Not perfectly, but more steadily. This isn't about fixing you. It's about helping you feel more anchored so connection can begin to grow from there. And I want to pause here for just a moment because there are a couple of things that I've heard from mamas recently that I think really matter. One is I don't even know what I would be coached on. And I hope you can hear me. You don't have to know. You don't have to come with a plan. You come with a moment and we walk through it together. And another one that was shared with me was, I don't know if I see myself changing this much. And I just want to speak to that for a moment. Because when dysregulation has been your normal for a long time, it can feel like this is just who I am. This is just how I show up. But this work is not about becoming a completely different person overnight. It's about small shifts in how you pause and how you respond and how you come back after hard moments. And over time, those small shifts begin to change things in a really meaningful way. I didn't become a different person overnight. I would even add, while it feels like, yes, in a lot of ways I've become a different person, I actually really just think that I've stepped into who the Father created me to actually be, minus all of the junk and the garbage and the baggage that has attached to me over my life. Over time, I began to show up differently in those moments, and that's where things started to change. I started choosing connection instead of offense. I started choosing us and our relationship more than I was choosing to be offended by the dysregulation. That's what changed for me. Point number 4, why this doesn't replace your faith. And I want you to hear me when I say this, because I know how important your relationship with the Father is. This is not instead of Him, it's with Him. And like I mentioned last week, sometimes support is simply one of the ways that He meets us in the middle of what we're walking through. So instead of asking yourself, why can't I figure this out? I want you to ask, what would it look like to be supported as I walk this out? And if you're listening to this and wondering, okay, but is this actually for me? I want to make this really simple for you. This is for you if you find yourself reacting in the moment and wishing that you could respond differently. If you feel stuck in patterns that keep repeating. If you want to feel more steady but don't know how to get there on your own. And if you don't want to keep doing this alone anymore. This might not be for you if you're not ready to look at your own responses yet, or you're hoping for a quick fix for your child. And if that's where you're at right now, that's okay. I was there too. I want you to know that you're allowed to take this one step at a time, because this work isn't about fixing your child. It's about learning how to come back to steadiness in those moments. And the way we learn to become a steady anchor for our child in the middle of their storms when they can't be that for themselves. But if you're in that place right now where you're thinking, I don't want to keep doing this the same way. I don't want to be in the same place 6 months from now. I want to feel different. I want to let you know what's available to you. Right now, I'm offering Anchored Mama coaching sessions at a special workshop rate of $67 for your first session, along with a bonus copy of Grounded in Grace, a simple devotional to support you on this journey. This is a space for you to slow down, be supported, and begin walking this out differently. If this feels like your next step, you can book your session using the link in the show notes. And if you're unsure, that's okay too. Just stay in the conversation, keep listening, and trusting that you'll know when the timing is right. You don't have to have this all figured out, and you also don't have to do it alone. If you've been listening and thinking that's exactly what I've been needing, I don't want you to overthink the next step. The workshop replay is still available, and the special rate of $67 for your first session is open through Sunday. You can access both by heading over to the show notes. Hey, sweet mama, I hope you loved today's episode. Can you do me a favor? If this episode spoke to your heart, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a mama in your life who needs to know they are not alone? Also, would you leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts for me? It blesses my heart to know that this show is giving you hope in hard moments. All right, I'm off to grab some protein because love and grace flows easier when you're not just running on fumes and coffee. I'll meet you back here next week for another honest and hope-filled conversation. In the meantime, mama, stay rooted in faith and anchored in love.